Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy and his magnificent performance in the fourth 2024 U.S. presidential primary Republican debate, and how he did. And I'm going to give you rankings for everybody that was in the debate. This was held in Alabama, which I think is really nice that we're giving some shine to some great southern states. And I'm proud of every state in America. And I think it was really nice that Alabama got some shine because a lot of times people kind of throw shade at Alabama, which I think is unfair. So I was very happy to see how this went. So let's talk about everybody in the debate, and let's talk about the debate itself. So first of all, Vivek Ramaswamy did a tremendous job. So one of the biggest things is Vivek Ramaswamy is coming out of nowhere. Like really, nobody knew him before this 2024 presidential election. He came out of nowhere. He is this huge, beaming, bright light of hope, right? Because and he's in a position to rescue us, right? Savior, can't use that term because I'm an evangelical Christian. He is going to rescue us, and what is he going to rescue us from? An 80-year-old president, and in my humble opinion, really, the first presidential old age death. I think it's almost as I don't believe for one second that the completely um it's an experiment. Like there's never been an 80-year-old president. We don't know if this is possible, and Dianne Feinstein is kind of pointing the direction that absolutely this is not possible. So he's rescuing us from us electing the first president who dies in office, and when they die, it's on us. It's our fault, right? Because it was completely predictable, right? Like so, and that's huge, right? And so Vivek comes out of nowhere, right? And so I'm super proud of him that he was in the fourth debate, right? He outlasted Asa Hutchinson. He outlasted Doug Burgum. He outlasted Tim Scott, right? He outlasted, there was Mike Pence, right? He outlasted a vice president, right? And outperformed. It was astounding, okay? And so I'm so proud of him for making the fourth debate and continuing this massive uh, momentum that is building up behind him, okay? And so I wanted to talk about Vivek first because that's my guy. That's who I'm rooting for, and at this point, I'm doing a video every single day to tell people this is our rescuer, right? This is the man who can rescue us from having a dead president who, because we elected a person into a job that is guaranteed to kill them, right? Like by simply their age, right? So I think it's really important that we're doing this, and I think it's powerful, and Vivek is here to perform a service for this nation, right? Because none of us want to live through this. And we would be putting in an 80-year-old president. They will almost certainly not live through the term. They'll die of old age, and that will be catastrophic. I think it would be catastrophic. So we have this rescuer who comes in, and Vivek is in the slot to rescue us from this, right? And so he did tremendous, and I know I supported Andrew Yang in 2020, and I did the same thing for Andrew Yang. I pushed to get him into the slot to get him to lead our nation, and I regret every day that we did not elect him, right? And so I'm pushing against the odds, right, to build a better reality for every single one of us, and I know many of you are doing that as well, and I really appreciate you thinking on this, right? So, so I have a little bit of bad news. So I'm going to tell you who won the debate, and unfortunately, it was not Vivek Ramaswamy this time. I think here's my standings for the night. So I'm going to tell you who the winners are and who the losers are in this debate. So the biggest winner tonight was Ron DeSantis. I hate saying that. I don't like saying that. I would love to tell you that Vivek Ramaswamy won tonight, but Ron DeSantis definitely won. And the reason why was um, between if you want to know who won in the other ones, you could just look at my videos, right? Like, and so on, I have coverage for every single debate this year, and I have coverage for every debate in 2020. But it's really fascinating. So basically, why did Ron DeSantis win tonight? Well, since the third debate, Ron DeSantis has lost massive ground in the time between the third debate and fourth debate, and he lost every inch of it, not to Vivek Ramaswamy, but to Nikki Haley. In the last, since November 8th, right, which was the last debate, to December 6th, right, uh, Ron DeSantis lost incredible amount of ground, and Nikki Haley gained every single bit of it, right? And so, honestly, I think going into this debate, Ron DeSantis was dead man was close to being a dead man walking, right? And he had to deliver tonight, and he did. He had some very powerful lines, and he was able to zip his human suit all the way up, right, to where there was the slightest bit of charisma, but he had some really good solid lines, and he threw down with Nikki Haley, and he even allied. Did you guys catch this? Ron DeSantis allied with Vivek at several points, and the reason why is I think both Vivek and Ron DeSantis are not running against each other. They are both running against Nikki Haley at this point. And the Coke endorsement recently, Nikki Haley is on fire. She's got a rocket. She got a booster rocket strapped to her butt, and she is the one to beat right now. Okay, and so the race. We have a 3-horse race right now for president of the United States of America, and right now I think is if the election were held today, I think Nikki Haley would win. Right, if the election and then Vivek would come in second, and I think Ron DeSantis would come in third. Okay, and so basically, and I don't think President Trump would win, and the reason why is I think what's happening on the Trump base right now is they're realizing he's not who he was. He's an 80-year-old sad sack who would do nothing but die in office from old age. I think Trumpers are really realizing that very quickly. So I don't think Trump is actually in the race. I really don't. And you're like, oh, Scott, the polls say you win. He said Hillary would win too. How much of a fool are you? Okay. All right. Okay. So basically Ron DeSantis, the reason why he won tonight was he didn't die, right? He had the most to lose, and he absolutely showed up and gave his best performance in any of the debates and kept himself alive, because I legit think he was extremely close to bouncing out completely, right? And Vivek would not have bounced out, right? And the reason why is Ron DeSantis is Trump light, right? Vivek isn't Trump light. He is his own unique creature. He is a purple unicorn, right? There ain't nothing like him in the race, right? And actually, we've never seen anything like him in any race for any American president. We've never had an Indian American president. We've never had a tech savvy president, right? We've never had a president that could beat you in a tennis match, right? Like there is nothing like him, right? Whereas Ron DeSantis, bog standard Ward Cleaver, there's 6 deep on the Republican bench. We got tons of them, right? And he's not, and the problem is, in order to be president, you need to be charismatic, confident, and intelligent. He's wicked intelligent. He is definitely not confident, right? And he has 0 charisma. And tonight he showed 1 out of 100 charisma, which is like, oh, you are a human, not a robot. But even tonight, he could not the man literally cannot smile. But he performed extremely well, right? And he threw down with Nikki Haley, and I thought he was really he did a good job. And I think he reminded people that he's still a danger, I think is the best way to put it. And yeah, so I think DeSantis won the night. I hate saying that, but I want to be honest with you guys, and I think DeSantis won the night because he had the most to lose, and he pulled himself back up. Okay, all right, let's keep going here. Vivek Ramaswamy definitely came in second. He had some banger lines. One of the things I loved was that with his closing statement, he went right back into he said that climate change agenda is a hoax, and it has nothing to do with climate. That was brilliant. And he actually said climate, these climate activists, climate change agenda is essentially a substitution for religion. It's a new religion. I think he's dead on correct with that. So very powerful, and he has really, and again, he's a rescuer, right? He's coming to rescue us from this nonsense of environmentalism and saying we don't need to bow down to this nonsense anymore. Burn, frack, drill, burn, drill, uh, frack, drill, burn coal. Best line he's ever said, and he drove the nail in tonight. I thought he was, and he delivered on a lot of other, and also he threw down with Haley, put some gravel on his voice, right, and like, and showed he is a fighter. He is a fighter. He's going to fight for us, right, and he fought verbally against Nikki Haley, and it is daggers. It is virtual daggers out between those two. They legit, Nikki Haley legit hates him, right. Um, Also, I the other thing that I was really proud of him for is standing up to this bone deep prejudice of every single Ward Cleaver and Joan Cleaver. Oh, like, it all, right? And they keep saying, "Oh, you're just a spouting off," and essentially what they're saying is, "How dare you be brown and smart? How dare you be brown and and have good elocution, right?" And it's so deeply prejudiced, and it's I'm deeply concerned about this. I think the Republican Party has a problem of deep, deep prejudice, and Donald Trump has burned that as fuel, to move himself forward. And Vivek Ramaswamy is cutting through this hyper prejudice that we have in the Republican Party. He showed up, he was courageous, and he did, as a person of color, what Chris Christie, as a person who was born on third base, couldn't do. He is really performing extremely well. Nikki Haley, she definitely came in third. Actually, so get this. Yeah, there's a little bit of unfairness there, but I'm going to say here, but I'm going to say it. Actually, Chris Christie comes in fourth. His performance should put him in third, but nothing that comes out of his mouth matters. He's not going to win, right? He is a vestigial nub. He needs to fall off. Every time he opens his mouth is a waste of space. He is a waste of space on that stage, and he is not going to win anything. He didn't win in 2012. He didn't win in 2016. He didn't win, and he's not going to win this year. He doesn't matter, right? So he had a great night, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't matter, okay? So he put him in fourth because he shouldn't even have been on the stage tonight, in my opinion. He met the qualifications, so be it. Fine, 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 right? Like, whatever. But the reality is he's a vestigial nub. We're just waiting for him to drop off. Chris Christie does not matter, okay? All right. Next is Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley has done great between the last debate and this debate, but she was shut down in this debate. And both DeSantis and Vivek showed up and showed out and very clearly said, you are a massively compromised liberal, right? And that really you're a liberal pretending to be a Democrat, right? You're a liberal pretending to be a Republican, and she is. I think she's extremely liberal, right? Um, she was well spoken tonight. She landed a few lines, but the reality is she had the most to lose because she's most recently gained so much. And I think Vivek definitely outmaneuvered her, and DeSantis outmaneuvered her tonight, and the two of them allied against her, right? So, one, I apologize for having to say that Vivek did not win the debate tonight. I really wanted to, right? I'm so hyped for him, but DeSantis really blew up tonight, and he really came and he saved himself, and he remained in the race. And we do have a 3-horse race. You want to know who's going to win the presidency? It's going to be Nikki Haley. It's going to be uh, Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis or Vivek Ramaswamy, right? And right now, I think if it was held today, it would be Nikki Haley first. She would win. Vivek would come in very close to second, and I think DeSantis would be way down the line, right? But DeSantis is not out. He did not get removed tonight, right? And so I think that's very interesting, and I definitely think Vivek is still absolutely positioned to win, and I think he will win. And the reason why is I'm going to work for it to overcome what we saw tonight, and you're going to work for it to overcome what we saw tonight. And I'm telling you right now, Get out there and take political action for Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to be rescued. Nikki Haley is not half the politician that Vivek Ramaswamy is. He is the best choice for a modern society. He is tech savvy, and he will allow the Republican Party to shear off this hyper prejudice that they have. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.